edge of a forgotten cliff in Maine. For decades it stood alone, abandoned, silent. But the locals, they tell a different story. They say that every night at midnight, when the fog rolls in thick and cold, the foghorn sounds, even when no ship is near, even when no one is there. Some believe the last keeper, a man named Thomas Wren, never truly left. And tonight, we're going to uncover why. Lower, more deliberate tone, building atmosphere. Thomas Wren wasn't like other men. For 40 years, he lived alone in that lighthouse. No family, no friends, just him, the sea and the light. He kept meticulous records, weather patterns, ship movements. Every single night, without fail, he lit the beacon to guide sailors safely home. But Thomas had a rule. He never spoke to anyone, not the fishermen, not the supply boats, no one. Then came the winter of 1978. A violent storm tore through the coast, waves the size of buildings, wind that screamed like something alive. And that night, a cargo ship vanished. Fishermen later reported something strange. They saw lights flickering wildly in the lighthouse, colors that shouldn't exist, patterns that made no sense. But Thomas? He was never seen outside during the storm. Tent rising, voice slightly hushed. The next morning, the storm had passed. The sea was calm, the sky clear. But Thomas Wren was gone. The lighthouse door was locked. From the inside, every window was frosted over, thick with ice, even though the temperature hadn't dropped below freezing. When authorities finally broke in, what they found made their blood run cold. The walls, covered in strange symbols, carved deep into the stone. Spirals, eyes, words in a language no one recognized. And on his desk, a diary. The last entry was dated the night of the storm. The pages were filled with frantic scrawling, ink smeared. Some words crossed out so violently the paper had torn. "They're calling me again," it read. Voices from the deep, whispering my name. They want something I can't give them. And then, the final line. "If you're reading this, don't listen to the sea. The lighthouse was sealed, declared unsafe." But the stories didn't stop. Fishermen began reporting sightings. A figure in the tower, standing perfectly still, watching, always at night. The foghorn would sound loud, mournful, even when there was no storm, no ship, no reason. It was as if Thomas was still there, still keeping watch, or perhaps warning people to stay away. Some were foolish enough to try. A group of teenagers broke in one Halloween night, daring each other to reach the top. They made it to the second floor before they heard it. Whispers, soft, barely audible, but unmistakable. They ran, all of them. But one swore he felt something grab his wrist as he fled, cold, wet fingers that left salt burns on his skin. Another visitor, a photographer, claimed he captured something in his lens. A shadow in the window. Not quite human. Not quite anything. And then there are the sailors, the ones who pass too close to the cliffs at night. They hear it too. The whispers, luring them, pulling them toward the rocks, toward the sea. Some say it's the wind. But the wind doesn't know your name. Slow, ominous, final tone. No one has entered the lighthouse in decades. The door remains locked, the windows frosted and dark. The truth of what happened to Thomas Wren remains a mystery, but the lighthouse still stands, silent during the day, alive at night. And if you ever find yourself on that cliff, when the fog rolls in thick and cold, listen closely. You might hear the foghorn. You might see the light flicker to life. And if you're unlucky, you might hear the whispers, calling your name, pulling you closer. because the sea always gets what it wants. And Thomas Wren? He's still keeping watch. Some secrets are better left buried beneath the waves.